What's going on, guys? I'm Zach from the Lumiose Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're going to be talking about the just downright scariest, mysterious, whatever ghosts in the Pokemon world. There are so many ghosts in the Pokemon world, they practically put one in like every Pokemon game, but some of these are just kind of next level. Like, some of these really are just downright terrifying and probably should not be in a child's game. Now, let's get into the video. Now, the first one we're going to talk about is probably, at least in my experience, the most infamous one, and that is the Lumiose Ghost Girl. And the thing that's kind of terrifying about this one is that there's like so much mystery around it. I don't know if this was something that was going to be expanded upon in the Lost X2, Y2 games. I don't know if it was something left over from a previous plot of X and Y, and just kind of they left this one piece in, or honestly, maybe they just threw this in to kind of goof around with us, and they had no intention of ever explaining it, and maybe don't even have an explanation themselves. But there's this girl in Lumiose City. When you walk into this office and you go up the elevator to the next floor, you walk in and you take a few steps, and then like the lights flicker and you're kind of frozen in motion, you can't move, and this girl walks out of the elevator, but she's not really walking, she's like in the sprite for her motion, like her foot is out like she's walking, but she's just floating around the room, and she floats around you and then goes, "No, you're not the one." And then she just continues walking into the room as if she didn't just give you nightmares for the rest of your life. But when you follow, there's no one there. She's gone. Now, some people think they may have figured out at least what this ties into, as if you go to the Richesme Hotel in Lumiose City, and you go to the 4th floor, there is a girl standing at the corner of the room, like right against the wall, and when you talk to her, she says, "Do not talk to me, I won't be able to hear the elevator." And that's it. Then, also, people have noticed in the Lumiose City train station, you can see this, like, bulletin board. You know how trains work. They have this board that talks about the time or whatever. And on the back of this sign, when you click it to read it, it says that there's something that's been, like, written into the backside that, like, talks about someone saying that they're going for help and let's just meet at the usual place. And I would love to be able to sit here and go, and so then but that's it. That's like literally all we have. There are a lot of theories surrounding it, but the fact of the matter is, these are the facts presented in the game. That's all you have to go off of. And, you know, humans, you've always heard it, are terrified of what they don't know, what they don't understand. And daggum, I don't understand any of this. But be sure to let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Also, on that note, I see that only 12% of my watchers are subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, hit that little red button for me. Thanks. Love you much. Alright, now let's get into the next one. Now, this next one, I think, again, kind of is terrifying because of the whole, like, mystery behind it and, like, what the heck is going on. But basically, there is in Phoebe's room in the Elite Four of the Hoenn region. When you battle Phoebe, she, for a brief second, when it's like cutting to black and the cutscene of her talking, there's a little girl sitting in the chair in the back of her room. And then you don't see her in that chair again, but it kind of shoots the camera from the perspective of that chair, and like it's kind of bouncing over to you, but it's like at a low level, so it's almost as if you're seeing you and Phoebe talking from the point of view of this little girl who is now getting out of her chair and walking towards you. Then in the next shot, Phoebe's talking to you and it's showing y'all from the side, and the girl is standing at your shoulder just staring at you. That's creepy as mess. I don't like that one bit. Now, this kind of makes sense because Phoebe is, one, a ghost type trainer, and two, is actually able to talk to ghosts. When you first meet her, it's at Mount Pyre, and she's talking to her dead relatives or something. So, yeah, that's creepy. But a lot of people kind of speculate that this might be like her bayonet because the little girl's holding a doll and it's like it's something tied into her bayonet. But again, at the end of the day, you just don't really have an explanation on this. It's just kind of a little Easter egg for a ghost girl, and that's it. Now, this one, I admit in hindsight, is not that terrifying, but I was a kid when I played through these games, and it was very, very scary for me, and we are talking about the Chateau ghosts in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. So, in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, of course, you have the old Chateau in Eterna Forest, and when you go in there, there's a lot of creepy stuff. There's like a painting that watches you no matter where you move to. Obviously, Rotom lives there and other ghost types, but there are these two ghosts. One is when you go into one of the rooms, you see in the room next to you a little girl get up and walk out of the room. Well, if you immediately follow and walk out of the room, she's nowhere to be found. The other one is when you walk into the dining room, you will see like a butler or whatever on the other side of the dining room table walk off to the left towards the kitchen. And again, if you follow, you won't find anyone there. Now, to me, the old Chateau's music that plays is the scariest theme in all of Pokemon. And as a kid, I just remember like genuinely being scared of this place. Like Lavender Town, I wasn't scared of. It was a creepy place, but I was not scared of. I was genuinely scared of the old Chateau. Like, because of that music and those ghosts, I could not go in that place, like, at nighttime. And I believe that's how you got Rotom. So, fun fact, I did not get Rotom until Black and White when you could trade a Ditto for it. Because I was too scared to go into that old Chateau at nighttime. And no, I did not think about changing the time on my Nintendo DS because I am stupid. Moving on to the next thing. Now, this next one is more of a cool one than a creepy one, but it's one that I feel like I can't do a video on the ghosts of Pokemon without mentioning. In the original games, Pokemon Red and Blue, when you are in Lavender Town, you'll talk to someone like outside the Pokemon Center, or maybe it's in the Pokemon Center, and they'll be like, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And if you respond with no, they go, "Oh, that white hand on your shoulder, I must have just imagined it." And, that's kind of left open to interpretation, which, is kind of cool when people do that. It's up to you. Did she really see a white hand on your shoulder? Is she messing with you? Did she just imagine it? But they actually kind of give you an answer, and that is in Pokemon Origins, which was a special they did way back in 2013. It follows the story of Red, like, throughout the games, and when he's in Lavender Town, sure enough, he meets this woman, and sure enough, she's like, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And he's like, "No way." And she's like, "Oh, well, I just imagined the white hand on your shoulder." And sure enough, there is a white hand on his shoulder. It's, like, very, very faint, and he doesn't see it, he doesn't acknowledge it, he just kind of like, to her saying that. But there is a white hand drawn on his shoulder. And so it's kind of like they're saying, there really was a white hand on your shoulder. Ghosts are real. Boom. I just thought that was really cool that they did that. Absolutely love that. Okay, so this next one comes from Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. In this game, you, of course, have the trainer school that you have to do the, 4-hour long freaking exposition of these games in. But when you come back to the school at night, there's a little girl and she's like, "Hey, there are like rumors of the school being haunted. Help me figure it out." And you're like, "Absolutely, no problem, little sis." And she's like, "Okay, so here's the first one." And it's 6 different ones, and they're all explained by something. Like, it'll be a noise people are hearing at night, and it turns out to be a Pokemon or a person or something. They're all explained. But then at the end, you come back, you're talking to her, she's like, "Geez, thanks so much for all that help." And then a security guard comes out and is like, "Hey, what you doing at the school at, like, the middle of the night? That's not cool. School's closed." And you turn around to the girl, and she's not there. She's gone, implying she was a ghost. Now, this has an even creepier implication, though, because the girl was accompanied by a Drifloon, and many of you already know, but for those who don't, it talks about in Drifloon's Pokedex how this Pokemon actually kidnaps children and carries them off into the afterlife. So the implication here is that this little girl not only is a ghost girl, but was a girl that died at the hands of Drifloon, who is now accompanying her on her ghostly adventure. So yeah, that's pretty terrifying. Be sure to let me know in the comments below which of these you think is the most terrifying. Also, let me know if you have some kind of explanation for that creepy Lumiose one at the beginning. Be sure to also like, subscribe, hit the bell for all our other creepy content this month, as well as our regular content this month and just year round. Until next time, I will see all of you later.